Hey, what's going on everybody? SenpaiRelax back on the mic. Today I'm going to be discussing Tekken 8 ideas and is it time for Tekken 8? If you would like to skip right to the Tekken 8 ideas, I will have a timestamp down below in the comment section. With all that being said, let's get right into the introduction. Is it time for Tekken 8? Well, as everyone knows, Season 3 wasn't the best for Tekken 7 due to the whole Leroy being the most overpowered character, a boss-like character, and Falcoram being incredibly broken with his hitbox. So should Season 4 come out to show why Tekken 7 is still a good game? However, I believe 3 other reasons say why Tekken 8 should come out instead at this point in time. One, we had TWT 2020 get cancelled, so no more tournament hype to build up Season 4 for Tekken. Alongside previous 2 years for Tekken 7 launch, we received 2 anniversary updates. However, on the 3rd anniversary, there was no update or even an announcement about the anniversary. Lastly, Tekken 7 is completely bloated, having 49 characters, having the most amount of characters in a non-tag oriented game. So we surely don't need more characters to be brought in for another season. Instead, we should focus on Tekken 8 and shape it into the Tekken that we all want in the community. Capitalize on what Tekken 7 failed to do. All eyes is on Tekken at this point. Tekken is at the top of the fighting games, the throne that it rightfully deserves. We need to bring more modes to keep people playing. We need a community manager. We need a well-designed tutorial mode, more fleshed out characters to show their personality, not the goofiness we see in the Tekken 7 character endings. So with that being said, grab some snacks, a drink, as I'm about to dive into my Tekken 8 expectations. Starting it off with the roster, having it at a size of 25, which just so happens to be the same amount as Mortal Kombat 11. This will give everybody a chance to have more of a spotlight on them in the story, be able to be put in there, and also having more customization options, more animations, more things that gives the character depth, more personality, if you will. So along with that being said, I feel like the character select screen should have every character that can be stepped to the right on the right side of the screen, every character that can be stepped to the left on the left side of the screen. Now I'm going to go into each character and give them a little backstory and why they're in Tekken 8. Starting off with one of the main characters, Jin. After mastering and understanding the devil gene he possesses, he is now fully ready to kill his own father and put an end to the devil gene once and for all. Now one thing I want to have for his gameplay wise is have devil gene infused in him, and devil being the offensive and the base gen being a defensive. That was somewhat from the Blasted Islami, so shout outs to him. Now we have Kazuya, now controlled by the devil completely, is willing to do anything to remain at the top by starting his own war, by killing anyone in his way. However, an angel inside him still resorts to the kindness, showing that the true Kazuya is still somewhere in there. He just needs to break through. This gives Kazuya the show that Kazuya isn't completely evil. He's still human at the end of the day. Now moving on to Lars. Lars aids Jin on bringing the world back to normal. However, Lars deep down still has doubts that Jin may still not be able to control his devil gene, and maybe he is truly just evil. So next we have Claudio. Seeking out Jin's devil power by having Xiaoyu captured. He will act as a third party, seeking the moment to take out Jin and steal his extraordinary powers. Realizing that Claudio is just somewhat of a Heihachi, he kind of just wants power. He's Lee, aiding Jin and finishing off Kazuya, wanting the Mishima lines to be completely over and done with. He more say just wants to move on. He doesn't want this to become a constant problem for him. I also put in there that he should get some of Shaheen's moves. You know, this would make more sense. And maybe he should, maybe he shouldn't. Comments down below. Nina, aiding Jin, showing her loyalty still remains. Confrontation with Steve as he wants to be in her life. However, Nina has self-doubt and that she'll live up to the mom he imagines him to be, as she doesn't for Anna, as she doesn't act like her childish sister Anna used to know. So this is kind of more of like Nina not really feeling. This is why she has more of a mean persona. She's not really nice because she doesn't want them to imagine her being the Nina they used to know, or whatever they constructed in their mind who is Nina. She feels like she won't live up to that potential, and obviously give some of Anna's moves to Nina. Next we have Alyssa aiding Jin, however concerned for her friend Xiao Yu, as they haven't talked in a long time. So Alyssa's more concerned about like where Xiao Yu went, even though she's really involved in her relationship with Lars and aiding Jin on, creating this world of peace as it's going downhill. Xiao Yu held captive by Claudio, finally establishing her relationship with Jin and him realizing her love for him, and finally giving her the shot she wanted. Basically kind of like a more of an ending sense that, she was held by Claudio, rescued by Jin. Now she explains how she's been searching for this dude, and Jin gives her the shot, goes on a date with her, maybe, have little kids, who knows. But just her being the title, the prize a little bit, if you will. Now we're going on to Paul, after realizing that fans no longer appreciate his goofy persona. That's what we're running with, that he's been going through this goofy phase, that he feels like that makes people like him more. But overall, Paul understands that he has lost his true self, wanting to prove the real Paul is back. So he enters the King of Iron Fist Tournament 8 to end his legacy by being the #1 fighter on the planet, by winning the tournament altogether. So I feel that's one way we can really grasp the real Paul back in here, because the Paul we got ain't cutting it. Now I have Armor King, as many of you may be shocked at it, even if you watch my predictions video of the roster. I said basically infuse the kings together. I didn't put king in my thing. I feel like Armor King should just be the main king. I don't think it would be a bad idea at all, and especially with his new design being so well done. But let's move on to his character bio. After defeating Marduk in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 7, he still wasn't satisfied. Anger and grieving over his brother led him down an evil path, feeling that everyone deserves a happy ending except him. So now he feels that everyone doesn't deserve a happy ending. So he joins Kazuya, willing to keep the destruction of happiness going, as he will never be able to attain it back himself. So overall, due to his pain, he feels everyone else should experience pain. To make that much more simpler, that could have been very confusing, and I do apologize. So, but also along with that, he gained some of King's moves. Now this is an interesting one that I said Force Law should come back. Force Law, instead of martial law, I kind of switch it up. After his motorcycle incident, Forrest recovered. He has failed to realize that life has moved on without him. Many people have accomplished things while Forrest was not allowed to join tournaments outside of his dojo. However, Forrest once again joined the King of Iron Fist tournament to prove everyone he can obtain accolades and show his father he is more than ready for the real world. That way we can, see Force Law again. Steve, desperate for his mother Nina's attention, he does anything for her just to establish memories, alongside helping her in fights against G-Corp for ruining his childhood and many others as the destruction of humanity transpires. Steve just kind of, really entangled in Nina and really wants to prove his loyalty and wants his mother's affection. And, he never really had that besides Dr. Cleason. I don't think I said it correctly, but pardon me. But besides that, he really just wants some love and affection and family. Now we're on to Harang. After being defeated left and right, still depressed from his teacher's passing, seeing chaos, Harang and ignorance immediately assumes it's Jin creating destruction, so he practices for his final fight against Jin to show him that his power comes from nothing from strength and not some cursed gene. So Harang wants to prove that power, can only come within the person, not from some gift. Now we have Brian. Brian, realizing that his rampage is getting him nowhere, he seeks out one of the new characters in Tekken 8, whoever they may be, has a big ego just as him, and wants him to realize that rampage and anger has no meaning and it doesn't do anything for anybody. Now we have Jack 8. being buried and deactivated after losing power, but being found by Jun and being turned back on. He first attacks her, but quickly realizes she is aiding him, and she shows him the beauty of nature, and furthermore, he helps her stop the chaos. Now we have Yoshi, and his sacred Manji clan sword has been stolen. He plans to find a thief, who he first accused Brian, as he felt that he was messing with him once again, but only to find out it was Dragunov. And maybe Yoshi can gain some of Raven's moves that way. Ninja. Next we have Dragunov, who stole the Manji clan sacred Dragon Eye sword, as it withheld deadly powers similar to the Devil Gene, only to seeking it to trade with Kazuya, which he's aiding him in destruction of the world, but in return Dragunov will receive proportion of control of the new world run by Kazuya that way. So kind of like he's aiding him just to get a piece of return, his own sanity. So next we have Lily. Some people may really hate me for this, but I feel like Lily definitely has a shot of being in the next game. She's very beloved. After finally beating her rival Asuka, Lily went back to her rich lifestyle. However, Lily became upset as she feels no one pays her any attention. Desperation for being noticed, she enters the King of Iron Fist tournament to prove her worth with or without royalty. Next up we have Kuma. After hearing the death of Heihachi, Kuma seeks out to end the killer who killed his master he loved, and he also takes some of Heihachi's move. Pretty forward bio for Kuma. Next we have Leroy. Acknowledging that revenge won't bring back his people, Leroy enters the King of Iron Fist tournament to protect a new city he calls home. That way he will never experience the tragedy of losing his loved ones once again. He gains some of Leo's and Wang moves, that way we can, because he can gain a little bit of their martial arts status. We have Jun, who I know everybody would love to see come back, and actually will kind of replace Asuka in some sort. That's why she'll have some of her moves. But Jun finally returns after hiding, as she has been healing with a secret legion that's been hiding in the shadows, waiting for the moment to carry out a 20-year plan, of which she plans to extract the Devil Gene from Kazuya and to bring back the man she once loved. If you do not believe me that Jun is still alive, because Harada has confirmed it multiple times on Twitter that Jun is just missing, point blank. So she could have just been in hiding this whole time. So that's your answer if you don't believe me on that part. Next we have Christy, who we replace Eddie. Joins once again after the injury of her master. Eddie, being a part of the G-Corp building collapse, seeking answers to exactly what's going on in the world she formerly knew. Chrissy is more happy spring character. She's not really envious or the type to get very angry and frustrated so quickly, or carry out a grudge against somebody. So she's just gonna seek out answers, more say. Now, the formation of how the story can process is more similar to Mortal Kombat. If you ever played those games, they have chapters, and each chapter you play as a certain character and you do certain fights. So this Tekken 8, I'm sorry, would contain probably 8 chapters, hence Tekken 8. For example, chapter 1, you play as Brian and you're crowded by Jax during his reckless rampage. And after he beats up one of the Jacks who gave him a hard time, he realizes that doing all this reckless fighting is getting tedious, and he's actually somewhat tired of it. Then you have Yoshimitsu appear due to his concern of his Maji clan sacred blade, how I discussed earlier. He confronts Brian, and he doesn't believe anything Brian has to say, because Brian can talk if you listen to the Tekken 7 dialogue. So that conspires, and then he tells him like, I didn't take it at all. And so, but now after beating Yoshimitsu, he maybe notices the world is crumbling, so Brian goes and seek out answers his own, and he feels that no one should be destructing the world unless it's him. He feels like, I'm the only person who should be destructing the world. So he heads to the Mishima Zaibatsu, thinking it's Jin's plan, and he ends up crashing into the building, just going through recklessly, and is confronted by Alyssa. And that's the way you can easily make a chapter, you know. Have a little dialogue, have a little fun with the first chapter, if you will. Gameplay wise for Tekken 8, I feel it should obviously be very similar to Tekken 7. You know, it's always been somewhat of a similarity from Tekken 6 to Tekken 5, you know, containing the rage arts to the rage drives to the power crushes to the wall bounces to the balcony breaks to the wall breaks to the floor breaks, and another stage that goes from walls to infinite. However, we should get rid of 10-hit combos for sure. That's something that we shouldn't bring back because no one uses them, and it's very misleading because it's not a combo. New changes, I believe, however, infinite stages could have maybe a floor break. This will have to be a very unique stage, like maybe like a ice, you know, some ice place, you know, and then you can fall down. I don't know. It's a much more complicated thing, but you know, that could be possibly inverted. Stage with walls in the middle of the map, you know, bring that back from Tekken 4. Every character having 3 rage drives, movement improved completely for the game. You know, sidestepping is very more maintained, and when you sidestep, there is an indication, like maybe the character might laugh or say sorry or haha, like something like that. Maybe we can get something that to indicate you did a successful sidestep. This is your time to punish. Bring us an idle animation like you did for Lucky Chloe randomly for season 3. That would be very grateful for money. It doesn't have to be a whole dance routine, but it could be something small, you know, like shaking the head or just, you know, maybe Nina's checking her phone, something, you know, easily. Make backdash canceling be very more unique. It shouldn't make everybody look like they're having seizures. It should be something that should be very cool and something that the beginner player base should want to learn, because it is a very important thing, but it is also hard to know when to use it and when to not use it. So frame data being in the game off the start. Move list having categories that you can choose from, you know, having the normal way, which it shows the inputs, like through all the inputs to like the last inputs that are really useful. It should have the category for high moves to mid moves to low moves. It should have a category to just show the punishers for the character. This way people can dive into the game a little bit more quicker and pick up how to really play this game. And then lastly, they should have icons that represent whether the move is a low crush, a high crush, or a mid or low that actually hits grounded. So people know when, oh, that mid hits grounded, I can use that against my opponent when they decide to stay on the floor. Offline mode should consist of arcade battles, ghost battle, versus battles, survival, double damage battles, turbo mode battles, combo mode battles. Combo mode is kind of like you only inflict damage while they are put into a combo. So just hitting them and poking them does nothing. And obviously practice mode should come back. Customization, similar to Tekken 6, should be brought back. Player customization should be totally brought back in the form of Tekken 7 way. And then we also have the gallery being brought back once again. And lastly but not least, something that really should be brought back is the tutorial mode. And the way tutorial mode should have it be played out is that you are a teenage Jin, the Jin that is about to go into Tekken 3 a little bit before that, and you know, Jin is teaching you how to fight, and this can be executed very well by, you know, having hilarious teaching moments, happening, but it also being a teaching moment for the player. So That way we can have a good tutorial mode. You just have to make it very more interesting, not more of a book learning aspect. Now, last thing I want to talk about is online mode. Better net code. We need a rollback implemented into the net code. We need a very stable one. Rank should include warm up, and you may rematch infinitely like you do in Tekken 7. There should also be a match finder one where you can rematch until you win 5 times a person against anybody you want, and you can only do it once a day. That way you may want to get a certain ranking, want to fight the certain person. Ranks include beginner, and we go straight to first dan. I feel all the brown ranks should be deleted, not a thing anymore, but beginner, first dan, second dan, third dan. Then we have the light blue ranks being Kohai, Mentor, Expert, Grandmaster. Then the green ranks being Brawler, Raider, being a new rank, Fighter, and Vanguard. Then the yellow ranks being Warrior, Pugilist, Juggernaut, and Usurper. Vanquisher, aka the orange ranks, Vanquisher, Destroyer, Conqueror, and Champion being those ranks. Then we have our red ranks is still the same as Genbu, Byakko, Seiryu, and Suzaku. Then we bring back the blue ranks to where it used to be, which was Fujin, Raijin, Yasuka, and Ryujin, getting rid of the ruler ranks. I feel those ranks are very unneeded. Now we have our last ranks, which are the purple/golden ranks, which is Emperor, and then we have Majin, then we have Tekken God, and then we have, which Tekken God is like the last rank you can really like obtain by playing anybody. Now Forbidden Tekken God is the last rank. So Forbidden is only the top 10 players of the region. This is more like for like, how people have like Grandmaster in leagues and like such as Overwatch and those games. Being a Forbidden Tekken God is you're basically the top player in your countries. So rank decay occurs when you don't fight as much. You can challenge them for you can challenge a Forbidden Tekken God for their rank by winning a 1st to 10. You cannot challenge if the connection is not wired and not a 4 or 5 bar. When you reach a certain rank, not all characters go up anymore. We're taking that aspect out completely. Every season the game resets. Every character goes down a rank set. So if you are Emperor, you would go back down to Fujin. Reaching Genbu, you can no longer promo off a player with a low rank than you. The amount of wins to promo for ranks orange and up are increased a little bit, so similar to Tag 2. And that's majority I have to say about the ranking system. I kind of went on a little bit of a babble, but it's okay. Player match, obviously a non-ranked match. You can do quick match, having what connection quality ranking from 3 obviously 3 to 5 bars, and then you have ranking, which can be from 3 plus minus or any ranks you love to come across to. Also having different play modes, as you can play normal Tekken, Tekken Ball, double damage mode, turbo mode, and combo mode. And now you have player sessions that consist of normal Tekken, Tekken Ball, double damage mode, turbo mode, combo mode, and online practice mode. And to differentiate each mode, they will have different colors. So when you do a search session, a normal lobby would be in blue, double damage will be in red, green will be in turbo, purple for combo, and white for practice. That way you know what type of lobby you're getting into. And there will be like a little guide at the bottom that can tell you that. And then we have a leaderboard system similar to Tag 2. So when you do get demoted, it does update. And that's kind of if you made it to this part of the video, thanks for watching, because that was a little bit of a babble and a little bit of ideas I have. And tell me any ideas you have, or if any of these ideas really piqued your interest. I do a little bit of creative writing myself, so some of these are kind of thoughts that I've been had about the game. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Please try to, just a like or share would be very appreciated, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.